Make room in your heart for something new. Prepare for the possibilities of magic and miracles. The presence of angels and camels and cows, sheep and shepherds suddenly surrounding us and asking us to join them. To gather in the dark of night, refusing to believe that we have seen it all before. Unwilling to let fear keep us from following the star, the bright light of hope, the good news of love that is born again today. Once more, calling us to make this journey into the unknown, believing that together we can awaken the world to joy, to justice, to kindness, to peace once again. Come, let us celebrate this season and let us worship together. Is it switched on? It's not switched on.
We light this candle in recognition of the Tamian and Mwekma Ohlone indigenous peoples, who are the first humans to inhabit and sustain this land thousands of years before settler colonizers arrived. We honor the resilience of these indigenous peoples in the face of devastating harm, and we lift up their neighboring descendants, the Amamutsan tribal band, with whom we are working to preserve their sacred land of Juristaq and to ensure that their culture continues to thrive. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of San Jose. My name is Mary Martin, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here for worship on this exceptional and unusual morning. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm your worship associate this morning. Today we're presenting a Christmas pageant, which reminds me of the many times that my children were in pageants here. But today, People Look East, which is the title of our performance, is a no rehearsal holiday pageant in which you yourselves form the heart of the service. Children and youth, of course, are encouraged to stay and take part in the scene we're about to build. So our usual Sunday morning religious education classes are not meeting, but there's childcare in the nursery downstairs. I hope that you will be our guest after the service for refreshments and conversation right through those double doors, where you will find out, you can stop at our welcome table and find out about many of the activities that are going on beyond Sunday morning. Some of those activities are also listed in your order of service, which you can take home and read to learn more.
And I'm the Reverend Matthew. I'm a white male in my early 40s. My pronouns are he and him. And for those of you who are visiting the First Unitarian Church of San Jose for the first or second time, I want to extend a warm welcome with a recognition that you have chosen a very exciting Sunday to be here. So usually our sanctuary has a pulpit and some chairs up here, but today it is set up for our reenactment of the Nativity story as told in the Gospels. And so instead of a sermon, today's service will feature an interactive, participatory sort of theater worship experience to tell the story of the birth of Jesus, performed by any of you who feel called to volunteer. And so to get us in a sort of holiday spirit, let's join in singing our opening hymn, or I guess opening carol, a holiday favorite, Deck the Hall, a song rich with pagan symbols of the winter solstice. It's number 235 in your gray hymnal. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing Deck the Hall. And now we light our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. And I invite you to join me in saying our chalice lighting words together. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, of life, of truth, and the energy of service. I'm still stumbling over that one because it's just slightly different from the one that is memorized in my heart, which brings me to the next point, the next aspect of our service, which is to say our Unitarian Universalist affirmation. And I invite you to rise in body or in spirit to join me in doing this. We say these words every Sunday, and we say them both in English and in Spanish in acknowledgement of the many languages that are spoken here in this community and the many languages of the heart. I invite you to join me now. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls may grow into harmony with the divine. This do we covenant with one another. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. La búsqueda de la verdad es su sacramento y el servicio es su oración. Habitar juntos en paz, buscar la verdad con libertad y servir a la humanidad juntos, con el fin de que todas las almas pueden crecer en armonía con lo divino. Este es lo que pactamos unos con otros. In the winter holiday season, we engage with and reinterpret the traditions of our ancestors. For some of us, that means Hanukkah or Kwanzaa and or the winter solstice. Most of us have some contact with Christmas, either from our families or the larger culture. This holiday season, we're lighting an Advent wreath for the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas. In previous weeks, we lit candles for hope and peace, and today we light a candle for joy, which is a different color. A reminder that even in difficult moments, there are reasons for gratitude. We find joy in the people we love, in the beauty we find and create in traditions old and new. We light the candles for peace, hope, and joy. And we know that life is always filled with moments of joys and sorrows. So one of our practices is to light candles of joys and sorrows, candles of caring or concern. So in a moment, I'm going to invite you up to come as you feel called, to come up here to light a candle and place it in this basin here. If you have a joy or a sorrow or an occasion on your heart this morning that you would like shared with this community. For those of you joining us on Zoom, I invite you to type those in the chat, and I will read those at the end. And so now, as you're so moved, and because normally our table is over here, but it didn't make sense today, so I'm going to have us do something totally out of order and have you come around and line up over on, well, I hadn't planned for Ben being there, so no, it's not a problem. You're good. Yeah, but people... And sometimes our challenges may be great that we require assistance from other people. And so if you feel like you have particularly a sorrow or something that you need help or support with, we have pastoral associates. Our pastoral associate of the week for this week is Mary Idso, who will be at the pastoral associates table in Hattie Porter Hall after the service. If you want to light a candle or write something down in our little pastoral associates book, or have someone to talk to. And you can also email our pastoral associates. That information is in the order of service. And now I invite you to join me in singing this call and response song originally by John Denver. It is All This Joy. So you'll just be repeating after me. All this joy, all this sorrow, all this promise, all this pain, such is life, such is being, such is spirit, such is love.
All right, yep, got it. As we prepare to begin this completely unrehearsed nativity play, I'd like to have the congregation acknowledge the wonderful costumers and stage managers, Fee Starr and Meredy Halen, who will be getting into place to assist all this morning's performers. Thank you.
So can we have Meredy go ahead and stand
Please.
up, and Fee is,
Getting ready.
I guess, already getting ready. So we'll thank them when they come in. So often in the past, we've read the story of the birth of the ancient Jewish teacher and religious leader Jesus. We call it the Nativity from the book of Luke in the Christian scriptures. And of course, this story has been told and retold in so many different ways and changed so many times, we'll never know for sure what really happened. Which is why today we're going to take some liberties and make it our own story as much as possible. This, of course, depends entirely on everyone's goodwill and cooperation. Many of you, we hope, will take parts in the story and will help us to see and experience this familiar and beloved story in a new way, as if it were happening right here and right now.
We are going to read the story, and many of us will recognize the familiar characters and the familiar plot of the ancient story. Several times during the story, we will pause and ask for volunteers to play some of the parts in the story. It's not hard work, I promise. For the most part, you get to sit and watch the rest of the story unfold around you. And we need people of all shapes, sizes, and ages. If you wish to be in the story, raise your hand when we ask for volunteers, and one of us will call on you. And our costumers and stage managers will help you prepare for your part.
The roles we need help with are printed in your order of service. And as we narrate, we'll announce the next roles that are available, and you can raise your hand if you'd like to play that part. You don't need to call anything out. We're just going to raise our hands. If we ask you to play a character, we'll send you out into the fireside room where our costumers and stage managers will help you get into your costume and will tell you what to do next. Once you're up on stage, just find the spot with your character's name, and that's your spot. If you listen carefully, you will also hear some directions about what to do. All you have to do, volunteers, is listen to the stage manager's directions and to the directions you hear in the story. And feel free to be expressive. Don't worry about mistakes. There are no mistakes. This story is a beautiful and meaningful one, and we are here to be moved by it once again. But we're also here to have fun. So let's begin.
So is our crew ready?
Yeah?
And we have Fee in here, so let's give a thanks to Fee as well. So we've got our crew is ready. Is everyone else ready? What was that?
Yeah!
All right. So the first thing we need is a volunteer to be our Caesar. And that Caesar needs to be able to read a line. So can I see a hand? Who would like to be our Caesar? Yes.
Oh, right there.
Mike. So, you're going to go ahead and all of our cast of characters are going to go into the fireside room, which is actually generally, although they're going through this door, ignore that example. You're going to go through this other door where the exit sign is, and then go down the hallway to the fireside room where Fee will help get you into costume, and then Meredy will give you some directions. So next, we need two people who want to be the brave travelers in our story, Mary and Joseph, and their trusty donkey. So, who would like to be Mary? I'm looking for volunteers, hands for Mary and Joseph. Don't be shy. This is going to go real slow if you aren't volunteering. So
Yes.
this does rely on you. Okay,
We
yes.
got
We've got a Mary, or maybe a donkey. I'm assuming Mary. Oh, you want to be the donkey? Okay.
Okay, we've got a donkey.
So, all right. So we have, who wants to be our Mary and Joseph? All right. Yeah. Asta.
All right.
And Marnie.
Beautiful.
Great. This is we're a gender expansive story, which is great. So go ahead and head out and prepare for your parts.
Alrighty. And with that, we bring you this morning the ancient story of the Nativity, the story of the birth of Jesus of Nazareth. Listen and watch the story as if it were for the first time, as if you're encountering it firsthand many, many years ago. Imagine that after years and years of hearing stories of women and men bowing down before powerful kings and emperors and dictators, chieftains and tyrants, you finally hear of a story in which three powerful wise kings and queens and shepherds alike kneel down before one tiny newborn child. Imagine that after hearing so many stories of terrible wars, about persecutions and pogroms, you hear the friendly story of a birth, the story of a humble carpenter and his wife, and the birth of their child. Imagine that in this story, all the people are longing for peace in earth and goodwill to all people everywhere.
Imagine you're hearing for the first time a story that questions the power of large armies and great wealth. Imagine that you hear a story that instead talks about the transforming power of love instead of the transforming power of the military. Imagine, if you can, a day in the future when people will really listen to this story, will really believe that love is more powerful than war, that poor, humble people are just as important and just as powerful as the most famous and powerful rulers.
In those days, long, long ago, a decree went out from the Roman Emperor Caesar Augustus.
So you're going to go to the center? Go into the center.
Oh, the center.
Take your rightful place. Yeah, Caesar.
Friends, Romans, and countrymen. Oh, wrong character, sorry. All the world should be registered so that the people can pay taxes to me. Oh, now I sit? Do I sit on that thing?
Oh, no, you can go sit down.
Alrighty. We need
Oh, go ahead.
Alrighty. All the people were required to go to the city or town where they had been born to register. For some people, that meant a long journey. Did you know that stars were how ancient people found their way on long journeys? I think we need some stars now. We need 3 people of any age to be some stars. All right, I got 1, 2, 3. Let's go on over and get ready to be some stars. Thank you.
Joseph, a carpenter, had to go all the way from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the village of Bethlehem. Joseph went to be registered with Mary, the woman he was planning to marry, for she was expecting a child. Joseph and Mary had to travel a long way, and they knew it would not be easy because Mary was expecting her child very soon, and she would be very uncomfortable both walking or riding on their donkey. But there was nothing to be done about it. They had to go. So they started on their journey, traveling by day and sometimes through dark nights, which were lit only by the bright stars. So go ahead and go around there.
Yep, keep going.
It is a long trip for Mary and Joseph
Yes.
to go around.
All right.
And so they were really, it was hard to tell where they were going. So they needed stars to be able to show them where to go.
Are stars ready to show Mary and Joseph the way to Bethlehem? Hello, stars. They're shining very bright. All right. Our brave travelers were so lost without their guiding stars. But finally, Mary and Joseph found their stars and headed up the hill toward Bethlehem.
Now, the story is often told that Mary and Joseph were turned away from the inn because there was no room and they had to fend for themselves, and so came to a stable. But we're going to take a moment here for a brief history lesson on first century Palestine. Showing hospitality to guests and even strangers was a point of great honor, and shutting the door on people in need was a terrible offense. This was a community of people who shared what they had, and what most people had was a one-room house where everyone slept on mats on the floor, and they brought their animals inside at night to keep them safe and keep the room warm. Then and now, we're in a time where refugees need to be welcomed, and people of goodwill must find ways to care for each other.
And in that spirit, now seems like a good time to take up our special offering for the month of December. So for our cast members, if you want to, the stars, they've done their job. Of course, stars have to set. So if you want to have a seat, you're welcome to do that. The stars don't need to be quite up so high. The donkey, I know you've traveled very far, so if you want to rest, you're welcome to do so. So, our special offering for the month of December is the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee and their Guest at Your Table program, a program that's been going for a program that has been going for 50 years now in order to raise support and awareness about key human rights issues around the world. The way the Guest at Your Table program works is people place a box at their table that shares stories of organizations and great work that people are doing to bring more justice in the world, inviting literally a guest at your table, just as Mary and Joseph were invited in to learn more about what they do and also to offer support. And so to the many partners that the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee's partners are doing. So this year, that includes climate activists in the Marshall Islands, which are helping their communities heal from the destructive legacy of our country's nuclear testing, while also envisioning a sustainable future for their people. LGBTQ+ leaders in Ukraine offering resources and companionship to the queer community impacted by Russia's full-scale invasion. Haitian academics researching racism's impact on the experience of immigrants of color here in the United States. And then trans organizers forming networks of safety and welcome for trans and gender expansive people forced to flee unsafe communities and states. And I just want to share that earlier this week, I got a call from one of our colleagues here in California who was part of the Pink Haven Collective, that organization that I was just talking about, which is offering support to trans and non-binary folks who are living in places where it is, where they can't get access to care. So this organization, this coalition, provides support both by helping relocate people, but also maybe temporarily housing people so that they can get gender-affirming care in a state that allows it. And so I was reached out to by another colleague in California about someone who may be interested in receiving help, and so they wanted to know, these people are called passengers, who may be looking to receive help, and so wanted to know about what were potential supports here in San Jose, what were things like. And so, during this time of increasing attacks on trans and non-binary folks, I think this work among all of these are so incredibly important and speak to the importance of this work today. So as we take up, and I imagine we'll be having some conversations about maybe partnering with the Pink Haven Coalition in the coming months. And so as you give this morning, I invite you to give generously. Donations can be made at sanjoseuu.org/donate, and if you're writing a check, please make it out to the First Unitarian Church of San Jose, or FUCSJ, and write special offering or special collection in the memo. Same thing if you're donating online, make sure to select special collection or offering, can't remember which, in the drop-down menu so that it goes to the right place. And now we will greatly receive this morning's offering. Just a couple quick announcements. This Saturday is the longest night of the year, the winter solstice. And so we're going to have a special worship service here in the sanctuary and on Zoom. Kind of a more pagan service where all are invited to come. It's a service about found and chosen family. So you're invited to bring some sort of memento. There's more information on that in your order of service. And also coming up next Tuesday is our annual Candlelight Christmas Eve service, also at 7 p.m. It's a beloved tradition, so I hope to see you all there. Afterwards, there will be a potluck of holiday treats, so go ahead and bring that. Again, information about that and more is in your order of service, and you can find out more by signing up for our weekly email, and information on that is in your order of service. Gratefully receive these offerings. So, Mary and Joseph were welcome into this crowded stranger's home, and they were greeted by the whole family and also all the livestock, which in our story will be 2 cows, a donkey, a camel, and a pig. So what we need now are 5 people, big and small, to play those animals. So who would like to be our donkey? We have 2 donkeys. Oh, many people have donkeys. All right, so we may have to play around with who's playing what, because some sizes may fit some people more than others. There's a mix. So do you want to volunteer to be animals? All right, great. So that's the 3 there.
3.
Perfect. All right. So we just need 1 more animal. Who'd like to? All right. Yes. Go ahead. I'm sensing a reluctance of wanting to. Yeah. Okay. All right. So while the animals are getting in place, let's sing about the town where all of this is happening. So all of the songs, I want to say, during this pageant, we'll sing while remaining seated so that we're not hopping up and down like little crickets. And so let's join now in singing O Little Town of Bethlehem, number 246. So that was the intro. That was the intro.
The animals welcomed Mary and Joseph into their house and even gave up their hay-filled manger so the baby could have a bed. Thus, Mary gave birth to her firstborn child in a stranger's home, surrounded by the animals, and wrapped him up in bands of cloth and placed him in the manger. Beautiful there. In that region, there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flocks by night. So this is a pretty good clue that Jesus wasn't born in the middle of winter, because it was way too cold for shepherds to be out at night. But why let the truth interfere with a good story? This is a story about ordinary people finding two sheep, two shepherds. Oh, sorry. Where am I? I'm so. Okay, yep. Darkest night, so we need, yes. Finding hope in the coldest, darkest night. So we need two shepherds and two sheep, one which is bigger and one that is small. Do I have shepherds and some sheep? Yes. Yes.
Oh, and one sheep already snuck in. So,
Okay,
all right, I guess
so perfect.
that's our 3 volunteers. Perfect.
Perfect.
These shepherds they were lucky. They only had to care for one sheep between them.
Oh, yes. And I hear it's really easy to be a sheep, I promise.
As the shepherds lay in the fields that night, suddenly an angel appeared before them. And this angel was truly magnificent, and the glory of the heavens shone around the shepherds, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them,
"Do not be afraid, for I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. To you is born this day in the city of David a child who will be a great leader for your people. Some will call him a Messiah. This will be a sign to you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger."
And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of angels who seemed to rise up as if from nowhere and sang this beautiful song.
Jubilate Deo, jubilate Deo, alleluia. Jubilate Deo, jubilate Deo, alleluia.
And now let us sing. Let's all join in singing Angels We Have Heard on High, number 231. Then the angels left the shepherds and seemed to go right up into the heavens, or maybe right back into their seats.
And the shepherds said to one another,
Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place.
So the shepherds went quickly to Bethlehem with their sheep, and there they found Mary and Joseph and another sheep already there, and the child lying in the manger, just as the angel had said it would be. When the shepherds saw this, they told everyone what the angel had said to them about this newborn child, and everyone who heard their story was amazed. But Mary kept all these things and treasured them in her heart. And so the shepherds and sheep knelt too around the manger, glorifying and praising their God for all the wonders they had heard and seen. Now, for the next part of our story, we need 3 magi, or wise people, large or small. So this is if you've been wanting to participate, this is your last chance. Okay, so we have 1, and then we have 2, and then we have 3. So go ahead and head into the fireside room to get dressed. And as they do, as our wise people prepare, let us sing together hymn number 226, People Look East.
After Jesus was born in Bethlehem, there were 3 wise persons from far east came to Jerusalem. Some stories say they were kings, others say they were astronomers, and none of these stories actually say that there were 3 of them. Just that there were 3 gifts. So we decided to have one of each to cover all of our bases: a magi, a king, and an astronomer. Are we ready? Here we come.
All right.
And so
They had a
asked-
long way to travel. I
Yes.
hear there's something like 12 days or something like that.
And so they asked,
Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star in the skies, and we have come to praise him and bring him gifts.
wow. Alrighty. The wise persons learned from the king in Jerusalem about a prophecy. which had been spoken long ago, that a Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. So the wise persons set out for Bethlehem, and there, ahead of them, went a star they had seen when they first appeared in the east.
And the wise persons followed the star until it stopped over the stable where the newborn child was lying in the manger. When the wise persons saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy and decided to go inside. There, they saw the child with its mother, and they knelt down to praise him. And they opened their bags and brought out gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh, which they had brought with them.
So, now that we have gathered our whole cast of characters, I'll invite our stars to come back if you feel called, and our angels, if our angels want to come up too. Caesar, You can, Caesar. We'll bring Caesar up in a minute.
Come with the water bottle. Come on.
All right. So let us pause for a moment to look at this scene. It is a special night with stars and angels and shepherds and wise persons and many animals, and they are all witnessing a special birth. No doubt if Jesus were born 2,000 or so years ago in a stable in Bethlehem, it would have looked a little different than this. No doubt our beautiful sanctuary is finer than a small, dirty stable, or even a welcoming one-room house would have been. But the love and the mystery and the wonder that we see here today is no different than the wonder that would have been there at the time of Jesus' birth. So as our complete cast of characters holds their places in this nativity scene, let us celebrate the love and wonder of this story by singing together hymn number 245, Joy to the World. We're going to sing hymn number verses 1 and 2. I'll just note, if you think you know the lyrics, these are slightly different ones than you may be used to singing. So just, again, let's sing together 245, Joy to the World. Joy to the world, the word is come. Let earth with praises ring. Let every heart prepare a room, and heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing.
Players, thank you so much for your participation. And our interpreted stage managers, would you come out, please? Our lovely stage managers. Yes.
And costumers.
And costumers. Yes. And let's all take a bow for this amazing work.
So, and we'll all just stay here because the service is about to end and it will be too much chaos for you to leave the chancel. So I invite you, as you feel called though, to rise in body or in spirit as we as I offer these benediction words to make a connection, to take a hand or bump elbows, touch a shoulder as you feel comfortable with someone around you. To those of you joining us on Zoom, we ask you to send your energy to us and to each other as we send our energy out to you. These words are from Sophia Lyon-Fawes, the great Unitarian Universalist religious educator. For so the children come, and so they have been coming. Always in the same way they come, born of the seed of humanity. No angels herald their beginnings, no prophets predict their future courses. No wise men see a star to show where to find the babe that will save humankind. Yet each night a child is born is a holy night. Parents everywhere, sitting beside their children's cribs, feel glory in the sight of a new life beginning. They ask, where and how will this new life end, or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Go in peace, be makers of peace. Salam, shalom, blessed be, and amen. You did it.
Wonderful.